Well, hello everybody. I hope everyone is doing all right. We're playing Dark Rituals Malleus Maleficarum today, a game that you do not come across that often on different websites, forums, or YouTube channels. I actually acquired this a few weeks ago. Learning to play it, it's cursed with an awful rules book, but with a little bit of patience, BGG forums, and some of the YouTube playthroughs, you can learn the game, and it's really worth it for many reasons. First of all, the artwork is absolutely top notch. Everything in this game is very nicely produced. The minis, the cardboards, everything is great. So no complaints there. Um, yeah, we're going to be playing a slightly modified mission encounter 2 from the rules book. This one is called Witch in the Tower. So basically what it's all about, I'll show you on the or maybe here, it'll be easier. Okay, our witch is locked up in the tower here. She's performing a ritual. She's trying to summon a demon. She has 4 turns to do that within. So at the beginning of each round, she will gain 1 point. When she gets 4, the demon is summoned. Okay, the original rules say that witch should be a P.E.K.K.A. and the demon we're summoning is Harborim. Of course, Harborim, yeah. Of course, we change that. Our witch is going to be a different witch, and of course, we're summoning a different demon. I'll tell you all about it in just a moment. But let's talk about the setup. As I said, she's performing the ritual. She's locked up in the tower. The entrance to the tower is sealed with 2 ghost spells, both of which you can break with these scrolls, one in each corner, located in these. This one looks like a mine or something, and this one is like a house or of some sorts. Our heroes start here in this corner. We have 4 summoning circles located here, plenty of loot, plenty of herbs on the map. So that's what it is. Victory conditions for the heroes is either stop the ritual, kill the witch, or kill the demon once it's summoned. And of course, the winning conditions for the witch master is to kill. Where is it? Hang on, there it is. The witch master wins immediately if the demon defeats 2 heroes in the same round. Oh, that's interesting. So when I'm focusing on the witch master's side, I need to think about keeping her alive until the demon is summoned. So anyways, I'm playing against myself. I'm not using the solo rules. I will be explaining bits and pieces here and there, but this is ultimately not a learn to play video because I'll be making some of the mistakes. There's plenty of things to remember and to keep your eye on, but it's really well worth it, as you will hopefully see in this playthrough. But before we begin, I would like to introduce what we're doing here. Let's start with the witch. Okay, this is Karakurt, our witch for the game. She will be locked up in the tower. As you can see, this is her miniature. Yeah. And I have to say, these miniatures, even now, bland, they look absolutely gorgeous, full of theme, horror, stuff like that. This one actually comes from the expansion. It's called the Spider's Brood or something like that. So here she is. She's performing a ritual inside this tower. And these are her minions that she can summon, the Brood. Right? Let me show you the card. Brood, where are you? There you go. Still in its original seal. Right, so this is the Brood, and this is the upgraded version. We'll focus on this one first. Karakurt needs to spend 3 stamina points to summon one at the summoning circle, which we have 4 of. So we will be doing that soon. I'll tell you all about it later on. So Karakurt here, 3 agility. Whoa, she's quite agile. Well, she's a spider queen, isn't she? So 2 strength, 4 defense. Wow, she will be difficult to bring her down. And she has a lot of spells, 3 on the attack and 3 on the defense. This is a grimoire, so she can use any of these spells depending on whether she's attacking or defending. We will go through these once that happens. I don't want this setup video to take too long because we have heroes to go through. So that's Karakurt with her brood and her grimoire. That's her. Now let's have a look at our heroes again. The original rules, they tell me to use the vanilla, if you like, the core box heroes, but I decided to spice things up a little bit and add a little bit of theme to this mission. So I'm playing as a pack of Vikings led by Jarl himself, right? That's his mini. Okay, Jarl is going to start there, and that's him. All right, that's Jarl. All right, 2 agility, 2 strength, 1 defense, 1 alchemy. He requires 2 stamina to move, but he can search location for nothing. So he's really good at that, and he has 9 stamina points in total. You just sum up all these 3. That's his weapon, of course. He has a hammer of some sorts and a shield. All right. For 3, he attacks in melee with 2 blue. That's quite good, actually. Wow, and he defends for 2 stamina with a red and a green die. That's really good, as you'll see later on. That's his grimoire, his alchemy book, rather. So he starts with 1. So for 1, he can war cry, he can draw power, or he can giant's defense. So he's a buff character. We'll be going through these once we acquire some of the ingredients, some of the herbs, and then we will see what we can do. Oh, at level 3, he can heal himself up by 2. Wow, that's quite good, actually. And he can command. That's a new ability coming from the Fjord expansion. What is it called again? Fjord something. Yeah, that's one of the Kickstarter expansions. So he can command the disciple, the serf, or even the witch at level 4 with quite easy to acquire ingredients. That's quite good. We'll see about that later on. So that's Jarl. Let's put his card up there in the corner together with his equipment. Yeah, and that's his stamina. So I'll be moving that. Hopefully you will be able to see all of these on the camera. Yes, you will. This is quite important to track because this is the heart of the game. The stamina. Okay, second one is Bjorn. Bjorn, look at him, right, with this the skin, leather, fur on top, and his miniature, absolutely gorgeous, right? So Bjorn here, he's not very agile, but he's strong at both attack and defense. So he moves for 2, searches for 1, and the other bits and pieces are quite similar to the others. But he starts with 10 stamina. All right, that's his miniature. He starts with his Jarl. So for 1 alchemy, he can absorb the blow, defense. Okay, ability, cut deeper. When you attack, you may reroll 1 die. That's very good. And heave, you can buff somebody else's. When a hero, so yourself, you can buff either yourself or any other hero in your area with a defensive buff for 1 flower. I can't recall their names. As you'll see, they're quite awkward to remember, but very climatic. Right, 10 stamina, as I said. 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, and these are his claws. I forgot to mention his claws. So he attacks 3 stamina, 1 blue, 2 yellow, and his defense is quite standard. But his defense is at 2 to begin with, so quite good. I need to have him in front lines. Right, Dr. Schnabel, right, our healer for the mission. Where is his miniature? Right here. Okay, that's him with his potions and cane of some sorts. Right, so 2, 1, 2, 2. So a very good character overall. Again, 2 to move, 1 to search. These are the most important things to remember to begin with. 10 stamina points. Good, that's quite good. That's his equipment, starting equipment, so he can both melee and range attack, and his defense is pretty standard, right? Without any upgrades. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, so he starts with the other buddies. Now let's have a look at his before we go to Alfred, our final hero for the party. Let's have a look at Dr. Schnabel's alchemy book. So he's level 2, so he goes all the way here. So he can heal other, heal friend, invigorate another hero in your area, recovers stamina. Oh, that's very good for just 1 root. Wow. Infect. So double damage. Repel. You can push back enemies and prevent plague. Oh, that's all right. That's very good. Then at level 3, which is quite easy to acquire for him, you can heal all heroes in your area. Wow, miasma, and then cure plague. Wow. Of course, he's a plague doctor after all, isn't he? Eh? And our final hero in the party, before we begin the playthrough, is Alfred. Okay, Alfred, right here with his trusted wolf companion. And yes, he can summon the wolf. I'll show you in just a moment. So yeah, again, 2 to move, 0 to search. Okay, so he begins there with the other guys. 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, that's Alfred, and that's his buddy wolf. Yeah. This wolf does not start on the board. It needs to be summoned. I'll show you how in just a moment. But it's pretty buff companion. So 3 stamina, attacks with 2, defends with a red, which is very good, buffs the damage with 3, and also possesses the reaction status for 0 stamina. When a hero in your area defends, the hero gains +1 defense. So it's worth having the wolf not only on the board, but also at the same area as the other guys. However, what do we need to summon the wolf? We need 1 root, okay? And for 1 action, 0 stamina, which is overpowered, really. You can summon a wolf. Then he can also throw his axe for 1 mushroom, and he can boost the defense by... no, when you defend, you may reroll 2 dice for some ashes and a flower, which is perfect. And here, when you attack, gain 1 damage for each necrot you discard. So the more you the more mushrooms you discard, the more powerful your attacks might become. Phew. Perfect. At higher levels, he can do some crazy stuff with his alchemy. So that's it. I think I introduced everybody. Oh no, of course not. I almost forgot to introduce the most important character in the game, and this is our demon, Lujuria, right? As I said, the core rules, they tell you to spawn Haborim, the main boss from the core box, but I decided to spice things up with Lujuria, right? And that's her mini. And she's massive, okay? She's absolutely massive, looks twisted like a snake lady of some sorts, right? So we will be spawning Lujuria, hopefully, yeah, soon. And we have 2 versions depending on the aura that we can reach before we can summon her, or even after she's summoned, we can buff her and use her more stronger version later on. Anyways, she's quite agile. For 1 stamina, she can move. For 3, she attacks with 2 blue, and she defends with 2 red. Well, she's a demon after all, so she's not that easy to destroy. She has 2 abilities. For 1 action, she can strip a hero in your area must discard all loot cards in play. Wow, that's powerful. And Touchen. A reaction for 2 stamina. After a character in your area resolves an action, it ends its turn. Wow! So for example, if I attack, might be my only attack this turn. This is bloody terrifying. Lujuria, our boss for the mission. So our heroes, they need to kill her. So we have options, options, options. So if you've never played the game before, or you've never heard of it, as I said, I will not be going through every single rule because that would take very long. Hopefully you'll catch things up when we play. And if you're familiar with the game and you spot any mistakes I make, then please post them in the comment section as always. Because yeah, I'd like to improve my games and have fun with them. All right, okay. Before we proceed, I'll tell you how the game works, and it's pretty straightforward, really. Nice morning coffee. So the way the game works, the heart of the game is the stamina. So for both the heroes and the witch, we have stamina, and we pay for everything we do. We pay with stamina. If you can't pay, you can't do it. Then you have to pass. If both sides pass at the same time, that's the end of the round. And also, if we all run out of stamina, that's the other way to finish your round. There's no other way to finish the round. Right at the beginning of the first round, Karakurt, our witch, she gets 1 wound token. She needs to collect 4 to complete her ritual and spawn Luxuria. So we can do quite a lot of things during our turn, but we can only take 1 or 2 actions. We cannot take more. And if you start, for example, with this condemned, then you have to finish with this condemned. You cannot start with condemned and then with the, what's his name, Ravenous. If you want to do something with Ravenous, it's 1 or 2 actions for him or her, whatever. Yeah. So, for example, if you want to cast a spell, oh, I forgot to show you the spells. We'll draw 3 spells for the witch in just a moment. But if I want to cast a spell, I have to activate the witch and then either decide to make 1 or 2 actions. And then I pass the turn to heroes. So if I want to do something with heroes or the serfs are the militia guys here, here. Oh, there's one missing here. Okay, which one is this? I forgot to put him. There's the other one there. See? Have I missed anybody else? No. This is the militia, the guy with an axe and a shield, and this is the farmer. They are called serfs. The witches can possess them, and then they take control of these guys, and they have their separate cards. So these are militia and farmer. So you can activate them as you would activate your heroes, but the heroes have to pay the stamina cost. It doesn't matter who pays the cost. You can even split it if you like, but still you have to pay 2 to move the farmer, and for example 2 to defend. He cannot attack. So yeah. So he's just there as a decoy, as a distraction, or they can be possessed, and then by the witch, of course, and then you replace their normal card with a possessed serf card, and then this one is under witch's control, and again she can use it as her minion, and then pay for stamina to do certain actions. It can become upgraded as well. You replace this miniature with a possessed version of it, which looks like this. As I said, this game is bonkers. This game is bonkers in terms of minis and things that you can do. Right. Before we begin, though, we have to draw 3 cards, 3 spell cards for the witch that she can cast. So 3. I shuffled all the decks. By the way, for all of you who are familiar with the game and are wondering, I mixed all the components. So many people say on the forums that if you have a deck of spells for the witch, which is as big as this one, it might get overpowered, unbalanced. Yeah, it's true, but I can't be bothered to separate them, and you know, I'm just playing as it is. So without any further ado, here are the 3 cards to begin with. The first one is Roof Fall. So for example, if I want to use Roof Fall, the hero digs out from the rubble some fluff text. Yeah. So for an action, this triangle, if you can spot it, this means it's an action. For 2 stamina, a hero inside a building must exhaust 4 stamina. Wow, that's very powerful. Yeah, but I have to activate the witch to cast the spell. I cannot cast this one while activating other minions, creatures, or whatever. Yeah? So that was the first one. The second one is grab. Something in the chest grabs the hero's arm. It's a reaction. The square means it's a reaction. When a hero searches a chest, they must exhaust 3. Wow! I can play this during hero's turn, obviously, because it's a reaction, so I don't spend the witch's action, but I spend the witch's stamina. Well, more on that in just a moment. And the final one is, ooh, zombie wall. Immediately brings the Diablo 3 zombie wall to my mind, doesn't it? So for an action, for 4 stamina, summon a zombie wall to an area with a possessed serf or a summoning circle. These are the summoning circles, 4 of them. I can summon the creatures to any of these. I choose which one, and the witch doesn't have to be in that location. She can summon these just by spending an action and paying the stamina cost. Zombie wall. Right, zombie wall. I'll show you the zombie wall just a moment. There's a gazillion of minis, so sometimes there will be slow parts in the video because I'm browsing for. There it is. Got it. This is the zombie wall miniature, like that. We will be spawning that soon. Now the card. Let's look up the card for the zombie wall. Bear with me. I was not prepared for this. The decks are not stacked for the video. There it is. Zombie wall. There you go. Zombie wall. That's what these guys look like on the cards. So they're quite expensive to move. They cannot attack. They defend with a red and 2 green. Difficult to tackle. Oh, difficult to evade. You need 4 more. Wow, you can't evade them. So they just block your movement. And they bite. It's a reaction for 2 stamina. When the zombie wall enters an area with heroes, choose 1 hero to take 1 damage. Ah, that's quite interesting, because as a witch, I can summon these guys and move them into the location with as many heroes as possible, because you need to be level 4 to evade them. So in the beginning stages of the game, this is like a proper wall, and you shall not pass kind of thing. Wow, fantastic stuff. Already I can see so many options. Right, so every round starts with heroes. No matter what happens, it's always the way it starts. And I also forgot to mention that the witch starts with 32 stamina points. Her stamina points are red, you know, like blood, I suppose. And you dip them in this nasty little cauldron. I didn't buy the 3D version of it. I could have, but I didn't. The other side of it is the Doom Tracker, or whatever it's called. Misery Tracker. No, Misery Board. That's what it's called. You track the aura, you collect your wounds here, you collect your souls. Oh, and by the way, the souls, the plague tracker is set at 2 and 6. So when I reach that, I draw a plague card, which then as a witch, I can cast on the heroes to debilitate them and drain the stamina and do some nasty things with that. So you'll see as the game unfolds and progresses. So the gameplay is quite dynamic. Okay, this game was created for at least 2 people. I'll be playing with myself, but it's got a lot of tactics and strategy built into it. At first, it might look like, you know, just a skirmish game, just destroy everybody. But the more turns unfold, the more options you receive, and then it's very, very intriguing, and you know, and encourages you to think your moves 2 or 3 turns ahead, especially when you have these to work with, because as soon as you run out, you have to pass your turn, and then if you spend all of your stamina and you are attacked, you can't even defend yourself. So you know, you have to be very careful and think things through. Good. Okay, so we have 2 characters. We'll play the first turn so that you see how the game plays, and then we'll finish this episode and start another one with a proper playthrough. I don't want to keep them too long. Hopefully keep them at a reasonable length, so it's still interesting for you guys. So I have two characters who are mostly interested in obtaining herbs as soon as possible. This is, of course, Dr. Schnabel and Ulfric. And I'm looking at Ulfric because I need this root to spawn the wolf as soon as possible, because I might need him. So I suppose I will begin with Ulfric, right? He's already at the location with some herbs. So I'll spend 1 stamina. Yeah, 1 stamina. Yeah, move it here to pick up. And he's going to pick up these herbs that are here. So I have the 3D tokens for herbs, and you get the tokens like this without, if you don't have these. But I use both because underneath, if I flip it over, I'll see how many herbs I managed to find. Three of them. So I found 3. So I pull 3 cards from the ingredients deck, just like that. And let's have a look. The very first one we found is Spreche Mensroot. The cursed root. Oh, bloody hell. When casting alchemy, you may take 1 damage and discard this card instead of your normal ingredients. Oh, that's actually quite good, that one. Right, so that's the first herb I found. Second one, there it is. Dragapels. And that's exactly what I needed to spawn the wolf. Right, okay. And the second one is Nokkensmut. Looks like ash of some sort. Can I do anything with ash? Not by itself. I would need a flower to cast Oak Heart and buff my defenses. So I'm going to... Actually, these are the early stages of the game. Do I need the... No, I don't. Do you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to... that was my first action. So for the second action, I'm going to summon a wolf, and it doesn't cost me any stamina. Okay, so my wolf is summoned right there. I will not make any wolf sounds, howling. Okay, but I will use this as a reaction. When casting alchemy, you may take 1 damage and discard this instead of that. And I'll show you why in just a moment. So I'm discarding this. I'm taking 1 damage. Okay, I'm taking 1 damage. And I'm increasing my stamina to 3. And that makes me buff my loot deck. I'll show you in just a moment. But this one I'm going to keep. Okay, with me, because I will exchange that with Dr. Schnabel, because for 1 root he can do some nasty things, or nice things, depending on the point of view. For example, for 0 stamina as an action, he can make another hero recover 3 stamina, which is bloody perfect, because we'll be spending a lot of stamina in the early stages of the game. Right, because I upgraded Ulfric's alchemy to level 3. I am now level 3. The character is level 3, so I will take level 3 items that you can find in the chests located around the map, and I will shuffle that into my loot deck, which is level 2 to begin with. Okay, so let's do just that. Okay, so that was the very first action for the heroes. Okay. Now we go to the witch, and as a witch master you have a lot of options to choose from, but still you can play 1 or 2 actions with any of the characters that you pick. So you can pick, for example, this Mortis here, so he can do some nasty stuff. This Condemned, all right, this Ravenous, you can play the witch, and then later on you can also do some other interesting stuff with it. Do you know what? I have a perfect plan. Hopefully I shuffle that. So before we draw anything from the chest, I'll shuffle that again. I need to, I'll put a die on it just to remind myself that I need to shuffle that better, because I don't want to keep you waiting. However, I'm going to activate with Karakurt. That's the name. Karakurt. All right. And I'll do some spawning. First of all, I'm going to spawn the zombie wall. All right. So 4 in action and 4 stamina. So I'll put it here in the cauldron. 4 stamina. There you go. Just like that. Zombie wall, and I can spawn it and at any of these summoning circles. And you know what I'm going to do? Of course, I'm going to block these guys because I need to buy some time as a witch to perform the ritual in Spol Lujuria. And these guys, our heroes, they need to obtain both of these to open the tower and kill the witch and stop the ritual. Or allow her to complete it and kill the beast, the demon that she's about to spawn. So the first action was to spawn the zombie wall. I cannot activate the zombie wall now because I already activated the witch, so I can either stop now or spend more stamina and perform a second action. And I will, because I want some brood on the board. Okay, this is her minion, so she can spawn minions using her spawn or summon minions ability, which she has to pay 3 stamina to do that. She's going to do just that, so 3 more stamina into her pot, and I will spawn one of the brood, and I will spawn the brood right here. And then in the following turns, I will either go in there and support the zombie wall, or I will move into this house and kill these 2. Or maybe, no, I can't go out with my way. Well, I can go out, but I'll ruin the ritual. I'll have to start again. So I'll probably use either of these creatures to go in and kill the serfs, to gain some points, to gain some souls. And I need 2 souls to grab my first plague, which then I can cast on heroes and debilitate them. So that completes, the witch's turn. I summoned the zombie wall and I summoned the brood. So that completes my activation as a witch. It goes back now to the heroes, and there's no hero activation order. I can play Ulfric again if I wanted to. There's no problem with that, as long as I have stamina points to pay for my actions. So I can keep playing Ulfric until I exhaust all of his points and then start playing with another, or I can switch to somebody else. You know, it all depends on the tactics that I want to do. But this zombie wall, whoa, this is nasty, because as I said before we proceed, it's got 2 HP. So I have to, overcome its defenses twice to get rid of it. Choose one hero to take. So, wow. And that's a problem. Wow, I have another perfect maneuver to do with this zombie wall next turn, because what I'm thinking of doing, right now, only one hero can activate. He can move out or move in here, do whatever, right? He's got high agility, so he can evade the zombie. Well, they can evade my heroes if they want to very easily. So if I move the zombie wall in there, these guys will not be able to move until they defeat it. They can't evade it. In order to evade, I might have forgotten to mention what evade means. If you want to evade, which is moving out of the zone with a monster in it, your agility needs to be equal or higher than the monsters. So this is 4. This is the highest that you can have. It's level 4. Nobody is there yet. Level 3 is the highest with the alchemy with Ulfric. So yeah, we have a nice maneuver to do. But before we do that, we will complete this episode right here. Please let me know what you think about the game. Have you played it? Did you like it? Have you heard about it or not? Whether you enjoy this episode. If you can't wait for the next one, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm enjoying the game immensely, even when playing against myself. There are solo rules that came in one of the Kickstarter expansions. I haven't touched these yet because I'm enjoying playing against myself. And this game would be even better with painted miniatures, of course, that will come in the future, but with a human opponent on the other side of the table. I can't find anybody to play the game yet, but that might change in the near future. We'll see about that. But before that, yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything to mention in terms of introductory video. If I have, I'll catch up in the next episode. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.